Good Thursday morning. All right, so this is the fourth of my test streams out of five. This is that first test stream week. And this is where I'm sort of experimenting with a morning stream where, warming up after waking up with a programming task, doing some fun, cool, silly things, and then going on to do the rest of our day. So, what we've been doing previously is attempting to create a random walker straight out of the Nature of Code introduction book, but with Lua and Love2d instead of processing or P5JS. And on top of that, I'm trying to do it in a slightly more functional way. And so that means not using classes or object-oriented programming techniques. But instead, I was attempting to create essentially a closure function that would allow me to store these local variables permanently. But this doesn't seem to be working for me. So I think what I'm going to need to do is sort of play around with this, because right now if I run this, I get this small red dot, which I can barely see in the preview window here. But nothing really, like, it doesn't move around, even though it's getting all the commands to move. It's just this x equals x plus 1. That's not, it's not changing ever. So let me go ahead and kill that. And you. And I suppose I should also double check stream and stream health. Stream is healthy. Okay. So I am thinking about doing this stream at around this time in the mornings, 7 a.m. Mountain time. Gives me a little bit of time to, actually wake up and get presentable for the stream. But besides that, I haven't done any things to warm up my brain, so that's what this is for. Okay, so I had a thought last night as I was walking home, which is I could probably change this to be a table instead of just a function. And a table, which kind of works similar to a JavaScript object, I can attach methods to it. And those methods would be able to handle these things. So let's try that. It's either that or figure out some kind of this situation. In fact, I want to maybe investigate. So Lua, not object-oriented programming, but Lua closures. When a function is written in another, it has full access to local variables. See, this is what I want. Let us start with a simple example. Suppose you have a list of student names. Where did this button come from? Oh, return button is a toolkit function that returns new buttons. So it doesn't look like, well, okay. They're doing like new counter, local I equals 0, return function. Okay, I think what I want to do is maybe play with just create a new file here because I do want this to work where I can update this through here. But if that's not working for some reason, or maybe, well, I mean, because the print direction, this was printing out yesterday, so we know that that move is being properly exported. Um, and we could check to see if it knows what X and Y is. Because I remember unless I need like getters and setters, I could try this really quickly. I could basically say get X equals get X, get Y equals get Y. I'm kind of wondering, can I create a single get and pass in like what I want? But for right now, I think it's easier just to have a function for each of these. So function get X, and it's just going to return X. Function get Y, return Y. And then okay, so in update, we are going to choose a random direction. Actually, no, in love.update, we're going to get our random direction and we're going to tell random walk to move. And then I want to print random walk dot get X and print, and I want to say something like X, Y, random walk dot get Y. Okay, so if I run this, ooh, looks like it changed. Bad argument number 2 to circle. Okay, so that kind of worked. On line 15, circle fill random walk dot. So this is now going to have to be get X like this, and this is going to be get Y. Random walk dot radius. Okay. Oh, and we have a random walk. Okay, that is, so this is really interesting of what's going on. So what's happening here is that when I just exported X and Y, it exported right at that moment. I wasn't exporting this variable here because that was just being set at that time to be whatever this was to begin with. So it was updating X and Y internally, but I could never get it. So I have to have these get functions in order to get the current values, which I think is really nice. Any functions in here will have access to the real values of it. But if I actually attempt to get the real values, sort of like the new ones, I can't export them like I am here. So this is really interesting. I now want to remove this print function, save this, run this, close that. Attempt to call global O's random direction. What did I do wrong? Choose random direction. Save. Why are you still printing that? I don't want you to print that. Ah, this is what's printing it. Okay, save. All right, so now we have this running. It seems to be working just fine. That's exactly what that we wanted. So now that we have this, we have plenty of sort of time left in this stream to sort of play around with changing things around. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I want to take this random walker function and put this into another file because it's getting a little bit larger. So I first cut that, and we're going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it random walker Lua. And we're going to paste this in. Okay. Now we need to still have random walk in here. So we have local random walk there, but we also want to do local random walker equals require random walker. So that should now just be exactly the same as how things were working before. We can verify that with rerunning it. Already active. You're right. Okay. What's your problem? Attempt to call up value random walker a Boolean. Oh, yeah. Okay. What happened here is I need to return. Can I do this? Return function random walker. Save. Open parentheses expected near random walker. Maybe it doesn't want to return. Yeah, it didn't like a return in front of the function. So I'll just create the function and then return it immediately afterwards. Okay, this seems to be fine. I can leave that running over here. I'm thinking, wonder if I could, oh no, it won't let me change. It won't let me change it. I can do this. Sort of like let that run in the background. Okay, so with this working, we can come back to main and start thinking about cleaning this up. So we have random walker, we have random walk. Now, if I wanted to create multiple of these, I can now create this random walks and initialize this to an array. So equals just an empty array here. An empty, not array, a table. I have to get myself into the Lua mindset. Okay, so an empty table, and right now we have this random walk equals this where we're sort of setting it into the center. And I think what I would really like to do is generate these random walkers and just insert them. So I think it's table.insert random walks. So give the table name and then the thing that whatever I'm going to insert, which is the result of calling random walker. So random walker and call like that. Now, currently it is this is assuming like that I'm going to give it the start location, the X and Y of where it's going to be. And I think that I can in here have a random x and pass in, well, it's random x, random y. And so this will get me a random x and a random y inside of here. Now, of course, those don't exist yet. We'll have to create them, but that will be in a second. I want to go through and like finish converting this all to a table to begin with. Okay, so, and also the other thing is, oh no, it needs to be a single table that I pass in. So random start position. Okay, so we'll create that function to give us that. Canvas equals Love2graphics new canvas. Okay, so we need to create the canvas. And we can local canvas to make sure that it's not just a true global. In love.draw, we set the canvas to this. Love.graphics to set color. Okay, so then here we want to loop through the table to first. So that's going to be let's see, for, and I always forget this and have to look this up. It is Lua for loop table. I think it's like I table or I something, I pairs. The I pairs function will allow iteration over index value pairs, which is what my my table is going to be. For index value in I pairs and pass it the table, do, and then whatever I want to do. Okay, that seems easy enough. So for index, and I can just do I, and then the this is going to be the random walk in I pairs of random walks do, and this is going to be the random walk to color, random walk. So everything else is going to be the same in here, and we end the for loop there, and we're going to have a very similar thing. We set the canvas to nothing, and then we draw the canvas out. That seems to be fine. Then in update, we're not really using this delta right now. That could be maybe one of the future ones that has, I don't want to bring this up so you can see it. Oh, it looked like it went off screen. We can fix that also. Okay, so in love.update, we want to choose a random direction. But here's the thing, we want to choose a random direction for every single one. And that's going to be another question is this something that each of the walkers should be interested in? Like, do they choose their own direction? And I kind of feel that they should. Like, I kind of think that they should be able to say, you know what? We can just tell them random walk.move and not even give them a direction. Just they're going to figure out the direction. So I'm going to do that too. We do need to do the for loop though. So for index or I random walk in I pairs of random walks do and here. Okay, so then we have this choose random direction. This is going to now go inside of our random walker. So we have function random walker, function move. This gets passed a direction. We're going to remove this so it's no longer getting passed a direction, but instead we can choose a random direction. So local direction equals choose random direction. And then we'll test it. So in here, we just update, we run that. Everything should be fine. But if we remember, if we run this, it's gonna throw us an error because we haven't created random start position. So that's another question: is whose job is it to think about the random start position? Is that going to be the job of this specific like the main function, or does the walkers like just know where to begin? I kind of like to think that it's the job of the main function, that we can tell them where to go. Okay, so function random start position. In here, we want to return a table that has an X and a Y. So we can just create this and say return, it's going to be a table. X is going to be equal to, now there is the global love. So we can say love.graphics, and it's actually we probably want something random. So I think it's math.random. We actually do the random in here. Love.math.random, and we want to choose a number between 0, the far left, and the entire width. So that's love.graphics.getWidth. And then the Y is going to be very similar. Love.math.random between 0 and love.graphics.getHeight. Now, so this is just going to create one of them. And I think that's fine for this first test. Because we have an error. Attempt to call global I pairs a near value. Okay, so what is it really? Oh, it's okay. So the problem is that I pairs and a capital P doesn't exist. So I'm going to select them all, lowercase that P, save, and let's try this again. Okay, we started down in the bottom left, and it's going along just fine. I just realized that's right in front of me. Let's put that right up there. Okay, so what if I wanted to create a bunch of them all at once? So we're going to for, and in the for loop, for index equals 1 to 3. So this is how we're doing, like, okay, from 1 to 3. So that's 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Yes. All right. So what I want to do is initialize for I equals 1 to, let's say, 5 of these, do end. That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted just to tab that in. Table.insert random walks, and we do that. Okay, so this should give us 5 of them at a time. Oh, you're already running. Ooh, and it looks like we got 5 of them, so that's perfect. And now I want them to have different colors. So right now I have color equals this. I think I can have a internally choose a random color. So random color. Oh, I don't want that after the return. Before the return. Function random color. Okay, so I'm thinking these are just 3 different random values between 0 and 255 for the red RGB, red, green, and blue. So we can return a table with, well, it just needs to be the numbers. We don't say like red in there. It's just the numbers itself, right? Because this is just handing the color in. Yeah. So we're gonna do well, this is gonna be interesting. I'm first gonna do 3 of these, but then I want to sort of like inject this in. So I'm gonna do love.math.random between 0 and 255. But then I want to repeat this over and over and over again, like that. And this should give me random colors when I run it. So unexpected symbol near open bracket. Ooh, that doesn't, in function require. So it didn't like this at all. Oh, I'm not allowed to have brackets. This is end. Attempt to call global random color a nil value. Ooh, so is this because of hoisting, because this function doesn't exist yet? Random color. There's no this keyword, right? We're back in the closers section. So we want a function within a function. Oh, but I guess it's because I'm setting something when it's set, which is not, it's not necessarily what we care to do right here. So I think we might want to do something like start.color. And just have that have this be set by when we pass it in. So instead of like random color here, because I'm thinking the problem is, or rather, if I put attempting to call global random color a nil value, because random color is down here. If I cut this out, I put you up here. Random color. Let's save. Let's run this. You're still running. Then it works. Also, interestingly enough, they're all the same. Let's try it again. Limited method random between 0 and 255, but they're all white. That's interesting. So when I'm calling random color like this, I'm either I'm getting the exact same one or the random is not being reseeded, which I think is a little bit interesting. Let's try it with this just sort of being up here, and I do start dot color. Then in main Lua, we have random start position, but we also need the random color. So unfortunately, this is now going to be, I guess I'll call it start. Well, I don't want to call it start anymore. I now want to call it like it's config. So I can say local config equals, now I could say, like, because right now this start random start position gets me this table of X and Y, which is fine, but I think I now want to change this to generate config. Generate config. So this is going to set its X and Y. And we also want color equals, which is itself another table. And we're going to do another of these love.math.random between 0 and 255. All right, so if I save you, oops, attempt to index global start a nil value. All right, where was that? Random walker Lua 2. Right, because this is now config. Oh man, destruction would be so nice here. I should look up. I think I already tried to look that up. Still more of exactly the same. All right, so I want to now print this out because I'm thinking that I may be just wrong here. Because in my draw, random walk.color, maybe I want to do another get color like that. And if I do that, I have this color here. Get color. Let's get color. Unexpected to, oh, I need a comma there. Still exactly the same colors. Let's go ahead and whenever we get this color, probably not. As soon as we load this, we want to take a look at what those are. So love.load, table insert this config. Let's also print in here. So print, I'm going to say color red, and I wonder if I can do, like, can I do I for the first one? And then I wonder how many of these I can pass in to print here. Okay, so then I want the I guess I have the config here. So I can look at config dot color of 1. Let's save and see if this works. Color red. So these are all different color reds. They should actually be red, or some of these should be red, especially like 214. And I wonder if I set these between 0 and 0, so guarantees that they are red. Oh, interesting. Now they are red. So, okay, I want to now do the rest of these. So we'll copy, paste. So green, this is color 2, and blue, color 3. Oh, they're all 0. I don't want that. I want them to actually be numbers again. 255, 255, save that. You know, I wonder if it's because it's just too high of numbers. I wonder if it would be much better if when we created them, we chose what color they could be, and then they would be like a maximum in that color. I would almost guess that that might be a better way of doing it, because this is like the numbers seem to be working. It just, they're all coming in as pretty much looking exactly the same, which is kind of sad. Okay, so I think then what we can do, we could probably go back to the way we were doing things previously. So instead of generate config, it's back to just start, the start location. There, okay, so we pass in the random start location, we have random start location there, and in here, we want this to be start again, start, and this is going to be random color. Then so we won't need a get color in here. We only need those gets for dynamically changing things. This color is set in stone. It won't ever change. So with random color here, Oh, and that the other problem was it needed to be above here, which I thought was really interesting because function random color well, so if we're going to do that, we might as well move all of these other functions up above to be consistent. Okay, I think that's everything we need here. All right, so in random walker, we have our function random color, and unfortunately, we're going to have to do something similar to this. We'll create a random number and choose what color we want to be, red, green, or blue, and then we can maybe like choose randomly between that. I'm not really sure. Let's just do the bright colors, red, green, or blue. So we can do if, no, we want the color. So local random equals, and also maybe local colors equals, and we can have, okay, we can have this be sort of like a preset colors to choose from. And I don't really like leaving that in here. I'm actually going to say this is going to take in colors. The colors is going to be a table. We're going to choose randomly from it. We don't know how long this table is, so we need to figure that out too. So let's Lua get table size. Okay, so it's get n. Get n and pass it a table. Get number, pass it the table. That's a weird one. And that's purely a table thing. Okay. So we don't really, is it just a for? No, this is just a random number. So you can say local random index equals table dot get n colors. So once we have this random index, we can return colors of random index. Which means in random color, we're going to pass it in the colors, which means that well, we're going to want to have local colors equals, I'm going to call this potential colors. Okay, so let's just do the 3 right now that is easy to do. So in here we're going to have red, so 255, 0 and 0, and then a green, which is 0, 255, 0, and blue, which is 0, 0, 255. Okay, so let's see if this gives us, not running, attempt to perform arithmetic on global X, a nil value, random walker 14 in function move. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'm running into a problem where this random color function, so local color needs to be above here, but everything else needs to be below, which kind of sucks. All right, so if I move this back up here, random colors won't work. It's not just going to work for us. Now, if we have start, I kind of want to try. I'm gonna try a little bit more. Well, Lua tables. I want to see if there's any more things like get out of them. So create the table. If there's any way to extract a table with like multiple in one line, that's exactly what we want to see. But I'm not, unless there's more types and values, the language, no. I know that there's like, I've seen it somewhere, but I just don't remember where. And I wonder if I can come in here and create a new file. Well, okay, this is getting too far off onto a side tangent. I think what I want to do is just pass in the color. So this will be sort of like start dot color. In main.lua, we're just gonna get like the start, so local config equals the random start position. But then we can now add into it config dot color equals, and let's just set this immediately to like we have it red right now, so let's do like green. So 0, 255, 0. And then we'll pass in the config here. Bad argument number 1 to set color. Number expected got nil. Oh, because I need to have color be down there like that again. And in here, in draw, instead of get, nope, that's fine. All right, they're all green. Perfect. Then in config color, we now want to sort of set this. I kind of now want to just say like local config like this. And then we'll say like the config dot x equals random start position. See, at this point in time, I think that this is not really helping me anymore. Or rather, you know what? I can use it as just like a random number generator, which I already have. So I might as well just call it directly with love.math.random between 0 and love.graphics.getWidth. We will duplicate this line for y and height. Okay, so config color is now going to be well, we want it to be sort of like randomly chosen between different different tables. So we could have another file that just has the random colors in it. And that might be okay. Config color can also be just like choose random color. All we really need to do is like have a set of potential colors. So I can have local potential colors equals, and it's going to be a table of these tables. So let's do red first, then green, then blue. All right, so this gives us our potential colors here. So config color equals choose random potential colors, and choose random can be just this global function, choose random, that takes in a table T. And in here, we want to get a random number. So local index equals table dot get n. Oh, it's actually love.math.random between 1 and if it's between 1, we already know what it's going to be between. So it's really just table dot get n t, and then return t of, and reality, I can just put this entire thing directly in here and make this a one-liner. Save it, and let's see if we get closing bracket and main.lua expected near line 255. Interesting. So these are here's a 255. They all have open and closes. This has open and close. Okay, I want to clear. Oh, this trace. Oh, it's in function require. I think the problem is in random walker here. So I have the comma there. We're returning this table. Potential colors. We don't need this anymore. Start.color. Random color isn't being used here anymore. All right, let's see any tracebacks in here. Syntax error, main Lua 9. Oh, there it is, main Lua 9. I didn't see that to begin with. Comma missing right there. Attempt index local config a nil value. Main Lua 15. Config equals empty table. Okay, so we've got a couple of these. Looks like we got 2 greens this time. Let's try it again and see if we get anything. 2 reds. 5 blues. Those are suspiciously all the same colors. All right, so potential colors for each of these local configs. This should be resetting over and over and over again. Return table random. Get that table. But I bet that if we do our print so red for I is going to be config.color of 1. I want to repeat this and do it for the other ones. Green, blue, I, and color 2, color 3. All right, so here we got oh, interesting. Take a look at this. So we have red and green are 0. For the first one, red and green, it's blue. But on the second one, it is red. On the third one, it's red. On the fourth one, it's red. So one of them should be blue. One of them, and the rest should be red. But we're not seeing the blue at all. Unless it was off screen. We're only seeing 3 here. Green, red, 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 green. That is very interesting. I wonder, do I need... So these ones are going in as all unique colors. I wonder if I really do need to have the getter in here. Whether or not... let's just try it. Function... I can just copy this. Get color, return color. Get color, save that. We'll come back to main Lua, and in draw, get color, save that, run that. Still all reds. Ooh, look, something is overwriting it there. That was like a black. Green, red. Is blue not visible? We had red, red, green. We know that green is visible. Green. We had no blues. Set the color to random color. Fill. That's a really interesting problem here. I don't actually know what's causing the colors not to be set properly. Because when we run this one's just green, and all the other ones are not visible. Well, okay. I can see that it's being overwritten by something. I wonder if these need to be ones. Or no, they're all getting them. They're all getting numbers. It's not like they're getting something weird. All right. Let's run you again. And now we're back to this thing. Okay. I think for right now it's 8 o'clock. Time for me to get ready to go to work. I'm going to have to think about like how to set these colors in an interesting way. But for the most part, we've sort of figured out how to do this, creating these closures, which will be used in a less object-oriented way and a more of a functional programming way, which can help out with future programming versions of it. So I'm going to sort of call this, I mean, it's not done, but for this warm-up, I may be done with that. So I'm going to add all of these. This task, I don't know how to add file to get ignore. There we go. Okay, so I want to add my get ignore. Oh, save that. Add these files in, add my get ignore, add my random walker, and our message is going to be random walkers created. They all are white all of the time. Unhappy face. Save that. Sync. Okay, so the code for this. Let me find this. It's on my GitHub. Under live stream. So Brooks Patton / live stream, the random walk Lua, and here are the classes. You need Lua and you need Love2d installed in order to run them. You then just type love space dot inside this directory, and you will also get 5 random walkers that are all colored exactly the same on your computer. I have some ideas for potential things that we can go through and do in these morning warm-ups, and I'm just going to keep on doing these. The plan so far is to run these streams on weekday mornings before I head to work. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.